Well, hello there. I'd like to talk to you today about my latest knife. This is the Enzo Birk 75. Now, I've been looking for this for a long time. Normally, when I'm in the woods, sorry, bump the tripod, I go for something like this. This is my Spyderco bushcraft knife. Full Scandi grind, full tang, a solid knife. But it's not a large knife, but yet it's still something you have to strap to your belt and, make a little bit of an effort to get out there. What I always thought would be kind of cool is if you could have something that's a proper bushcraft made knife with a spine at the back for casting sparks and a full Scandinavian grind, good solid steel that holds an edge, but comes in a kind of lock knife form. Well, now you can have that. Like I said before, this is the Enzo Birk 75. D2 steel, there are other options too. Scandinavian grind. Hard back for good for casting sparks. It's a bushcraft knife in a locking knife form. Absolutely amazing. I mean, it's reasonably expensive. I think I paid around 200 New Zealand dollars for it. And I wasn't sure what I would be getting, but I've been very, very satisfied with what I received. This thing is solid. There's no, I wouldn't bat on with it. That's the one area. I've used this a fair bit so far, carving up wood, starting fires with it, all that kind of stuff. And the only actual thing that this will give you over the Birk is the fact that I can just beat on this without worrying. It's just solid full tang. I wouldn't have to worry about that. Because here there's a possibility that you could break the locking mechanism, I would say that that's a use that you wouldn't be able to achieve with this knife. By the way, I've carved up a lot of wood with this knife, and that blade is still got this lovely satin finish, and it's still got a good edge on it. I can't see any bright spots on that edge yet. So, quite frankly, in fact, let's do a little test. I'm not sure how this is going to go. Just little parts of the knife. Try to make some curlicues. Yeah, so I've been hacking away a fair bit at that, and it's still got that edge on it. Very impressive. I'm not sure even that knife performs that well. I've not sharpened this up yet, so this is still as it came from the factory. Like I said before, the disadvantage of this is that locking mechanism. But as far as that locking mechanism goes, the blade slides into place with a nice satisfying clunk, and there's no movement. It's in there solid. One thing you can actually do with this over a knife like that is that you can actually, when you're trying to do fine scrapings along a piece of wood, or if you're actually trying to strike your fire starter, is you can actually fold the knife down like that and use that part of the knife to do it. That's why I put in the title of this video, special fire starting considerations of this knife. If you're using a knife like that to strike sparks, which you can do with this, like that, any part of the blade is good. If you always slightly worried that you might slip and hurt yourself on the blade, although I don't think I've ever done that, but you can fold the knife down and use that part of the edge to do the same thing, and you've even got some quite good control up at that end. And like I said before, if you've got a stick of wood and you want to take some fine shavings off that wood to increase the chance that your wood shavings in a wet weather condition are going to catch, you can actually do that just like I struck that there, but with a piece of wood, and make your fine shavings. And that way you don't have to worry about cutting yourself. You can actually choke right up on it like that and make your shavings. It actually works quite well, and it's an added piece of functionality that you get with a knife like that as opposed to a knife like that. What else to say about it? This handle here is comfortable in the hand. I've not had any problems. It feels really good when the knife's out and when the knife's in. It fits well to your hands. Your finger doesn't find that bit uncomfortable. I found it's perfectly fine. This is not slippery, unlike this. It's one of my main problems with the Spyderco is the fact that this is an incredibly slippery handle. But this is just completely fine in the hand. It's brilliant. The mechanism is excellent. Like I said, it stays in there real well. You have a little divot here, so you can actually, because it's a small knife, sometimes I've had this before with knives, if you take them out and you don't keep an eye on what your finger's doing, your finger can find its way to the edge and you can do a fine cut on your finger, on your thumb. Here with this, you just can push your finger and your thumb in the little divot and pop it out, and then just push it out as slowly as you like. So it's a safe mechanism. Like I said before, this is rock solid. I have also, like I showed before, started sparks using that way, and I've not been worried that suddenly the knife's going to flip over and cut my hand. As far as I'm concerned, this is safe, but like I showed before, you can actually use that method too. It's got a hole for a lanyard. I just carry this in my pocket. This is my everyday carry knife now, and I didn't used to have a EDC knife before. So I've got a Leatherman Skeletal, which I thought I could use in that way, but it's just a little bit too bulky, a little bit too scratchy in my pocket. I can always feel it there. I don't feel this in my pocket. It's so light, it's so thin, it doesn't snag on anything, that it can sit in my pocket all day and I don't know it's there. So I actually now have the added capability of just carrying this literally everywhere. There's no excuse to not have it on me, whilst I'm wearing trousers or anything at all. So it's just ultra portable. It's got decent heft. You can feel like sometimes you can with a product. You only have that decent kind of weight to it that you can feel that it's a good quality product. But obviously it's not incredibly heavy. So yeah, so I'll do a side-by-side comparison. There we go. This is actually potentially a better wood carving knife because it's not as heavy in the hand. Your wrist isn't going to be as tired using it, and also because it's smaller, like you see those moors which are very, very small, which are designed for fine wood carving, you can actually manipulate that tip, that point, and carve wood with it potentially much easier. As far as its carving capabilities goes, it's equal with this. I think I tried this recently and it carved a little easier, but I think that's because this has been newly sharpened on a stone, and this has been for a bit. And if I've not sharpened this up yet, but I suspect that if I put this on a fine Japanese water stone and sharpen it as well as this one is, and this one isn't even that well sharpened at the moment, I'll get it to be even sharper yet again. So its edge out of the box is hair shaving, paper shaving sharp, and I've got no reason to change that edge yet. So it's very, very well made, well put together, well produced piece of equipment.